This 26 Sports high school basketball presentation is presented by Cadillac Casting Incorporated.
35-28 our score as the fourth quarter about to get underway here from Cadillac High School. Jay Simon and Kevin Gregory with you. Got a couple of games next week here on My News 26 Sports as the boys are back in action. Tuesday night, Mason County Central comes here to take on the Vikings in a makeup of an earlier game canceled because of snow. Meanwhile here, Vikings have made a much better showing as they're going to get Michaela Johns for fouling Thompson. Yeah, she put her hand on her. There's no question about that. But I've seen worse hand checks.
I think that person in the crowd was sarcastic.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's potentiality. Emily Cott driving the lane. Christensen holding her ground. Cott somehow saves it, but right to Emmington. Emmington will reset. Emily Cott chasing her down. Looking for Johns. Johns had a nice seal on the much shorter Natalie Cott, but the pass just out of reach. Well, she may not prefer to have her back to the basket, but that was a good seal.
It was a great seal. Just couldn't get her hand on. Looked like a pretty good entry pass.
Here's the freshman Erin Dorn. Emily Cott to Thompson to Natalie Cott. Inside to Burns against Christensen. Won't go. Emmington, smallest player on the floor, rips down the rebound. Just underway here in the fourth. 7 minutes to go in the game. Vikings have hung around all night. Christensen. Knaus to Johns. Inside to Christensen, who's got deep. And they're going to call an offensive foul on Kylie Christensen.
Well, I didn't see the off arm try and create any space.
I'm going to assume it was the little, yes, as you're demonstrating for the people cannot see, the hind quarter push-off sort of thing as she, and I said it, created some space.
Right.
She got a nice deep post position, but
you got to go to your seated position before the ball gets entered, right?
Is that the official thinking?
Yep.
Burns somehow snagged that. Johns bats that away. Chippewas will trigger as Piles checks back in. Christensen takes a seat.
Manistee's done a good job of just keeping Cadillac kind of at arm's length. You know, it feels like a 15 or 16 point game, but the reality is it's only a couple possessions, 7-pointer here. Cadillac just hasn't found that one run to put the pressure on.
Emily Cott with the little hesitation dribble, and we're going to get Little for the foul. Piles and Little in the area. They're going to get Little for it. It's important to remember the fans can't see what the officials can sometimes either.
Right.
Thompson for three. Emily Cott chases it down. Burns, Knaus, the weak side, but the weak side rebound by Cott. And now we're going to get a jump ball situation on the tie-up.
I like watching freshmen play on the varsity level, and here's why. Unless you're a special kind of freshman, the game's just going to be too fast for you. That's just all there is to it. But you obviously have skills, which is why you're on the varsity team. So it's good to see the progression. By the time that girl is a sophomore, Dorn I'm talking about is a sophomore or junior, the game is going to slow down and she's going to make that layup.
It's a fantastic job by Emmington. And it's a Thompson with the just murderous block, two-handed takeaway. Words were failing me on that. Dorn on the block. You hear a pin drop in this gym suddenly. Natalie Cott, top of the key. Down low for Burns against Piles, can't finish. Johns rips down the rebound.
Nobody had words for the kind of block that was.
No.
Everybody was trying to process it.
Yeah. Emmington, though, on that last possession, did a fantastic job as the Cott sisters just harassing the snot out of her, but she somehow got away from him. And now the entry pass, Piles was trying to establish position, had her weight back, and I think she might have got Rick Mahorn there a little bit.
Yeah, they got the chair pulled on her. That was nice. Solid bad boy reference.
And we are going to get a timeout from the Chippewas. As all of our younger listeners right now going, Bad Boys? What? Cadillac Casting Incorporated is the primary sponsor of these high school sports broadcasts. They allowed us here at My News 26 Sports to get this off the ground this year. We had 3 football games for you. We've been covering every home boys basketball games. We've got some girls basketball games like tonight. We've been covering hockey here on My News 26 Sports. And Eric Wotilla and the crew. We mentioned Hannah Crouch doing the directing tonight, and the camera crew, Wyatt Van Dynen, Dakota Pike, Leanna Carr, just doing a great job as we get things underway. It's the start of something big, we hope, here on My News 26 Sports. And Kevin and I just grateful to be a small part of it.
Absolutely. It's fun stuff.
5:26 to go in this one as the Vikings trail the Chippewas by 7. Manistee, we didn't mention it, comes into this contest 11-2, Kevin. Just 3 regular season losses over the last 3 years. These seniors, Emily Cott, her class, have been on the varsity since their freshman year. And they have made the state quarterfinals 2 years ago, regional semifinalists last year, and they're hoping for more again this season.
That's an awesome run.
Here's Burns, and Piles is going to get the foul call. Again, the partisan Viking crowd unhappy with the foul call, but Burns has been doing a nice job of using her length against Piles.
Yeah, she gets
in
the
sense
ball,
of just reaching around her sort of thing to go for kind of awkward-looking shots.
She finds those funky Mike Scott angles. I mean,
Yes.
she gets the person on her hip, and she finds a way to get the shot off and almost forces you to foul her.
Burns makes 1 of 2.
Whoa. They got it right. A little forearm shiver. No harm. No harm done. Cadillac's got to find a way to get some points up if they want to make a run at this game.
Well, both teams do. Kev, as I look down to my scoreboard to mark that, there has been nothing in this quarter. It was the first point of the quarter. There's a nice little backdoor look for Kleinsorge. Can't finish. And the Chips will bring it up. Emily Cott, the senior, along with Emily Thompson and Emma Burns, from what I'm told, all have been on the varsity since their freshman year. They've had tremendous success. Natalie Cott's jumper, rebound collected by Johns.
And you get the feeling that they've, obviously saying that they've played with each other a ton, they know what each other does well, and they're patient in getting the right person the ball with the, in their sweet spot, so to speak.
Emily Johns against Cott, and we're going to get a travel call as Johns was looking to bring that ball up. Thought she got fouled by Cott, but I think she took that step before any contact was made. As Christensen is going to check back into the game, Piles will take a seat. 4:15 on the clock in this one. Still anybody's game. 7-point differential as we get a timeout on the floor. We mentioned earlier that these two teams could square off in the district final.
That would make for a good third game. Cadillac is upped the ante a little bit in this game. They're hoping to make a run and challenge them in this game. And like I said, it feels like way more than an 8-point game. And I think that's just maybe the pace of it, which is playing in Cadillac's favor. They struggle to put up points all year. That's no secret. They hang their hat on their defensive prowess. And if Cadillac scores in the 45, 50-point range, that's when they're having their most success. And tonight, ton of good looks, ton of good bunnies, just not finishing.
In that first contest, sorry, Kevin, Emily Cott and Emma Burns paced the Chippewas. 13 points for Cott, 12 for Burns. Emily Thompson had a couple of threes in that opening run of 16-0 that the Chippewas had. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, Emmington had 10 points and 6 dimes. Christensen had 7 points and 14 boards. Kleinsorge pulled down 7 rebounds. Johns had 5 points. Our thanks to Mark View of the Cadillac News and Scott Yoshanis of the Manistee News Advocate for those tidbits of information that I found out there on the interwebs, as the kids refer to it.
The Google Nets.
The Google Nets.
Yeah, they got a lot of weapons. I mean, they got balanced scoring, as evident here tonight, too. We've seen 3-4 different girls from Manistee, hit from 15 to 18 feet. let alone the work that Burns is doing on the block. I mean, it's a complete team. You can see why they've made such deep runs the past few years.
Meanwhile, we get a foul on Kleinsorge, and that will send Thompson to the line for a 1-on-1 situation. And she drains the first.
One of the things Manistee has done well tonight is with the full court pressure, even token pressure that it is, it hasn't allowed Cadillac to come down and set up their half-court offense, forced them to play a little more in transition, and I don't think that's their forte, so that's a job well done by the Manistee coaching staff.
4 minutes to go in this one. Emmington wants to find Christensen. It's not there to Thompson. Excuse me, to Little. Emmington defended by Thompson. Johns against Natalie Cott, who's given up some size, but has the hands, as we've already seen in the first half. Emmington. Christensen defended by Burns. Looking for Johns, tapped away, and Emily Cott comes up with it. Good hands from Burns. Now you would expect perhaps, that was a nice tap away by Kleinsorge, and it's going to end up in the hands of Little. Little gets Emily Cott turned around. Left hand is no good. Christensen with the putback, Burns with the block. And it ends up in the hands of Thompson. Chippewas will call a play. Emily Cott, defended by Little. Natalie Cott, skip pass for Burns. Jumper is good. Yeah, the big girl, Emma Burns, has shown an ability to knock down that 10-12 footer. She's had several tonight.
Sure has, and both Cott sisters consistently able to deliver the ball in the breadbasket. Just makes that an easy, flawless effort to get the shot up.
Trying to force one down to Little, who is double teamed, and it's taken away. Thompson up ahead for Haipaka. We're going to get a full timeout by the Chippewas. 2:16 to go in this one. 39-28. The Vikings, Kevin, yet to score in this quarter, unfortunately, as the Chippewas have ramped up the defense a bit.
Yeah, that'll bite you. So, the first game, 16-0 to start the game. This game tonight seems that Manistee's finishing the fourth quarter strong. If you're a Cadillac Viking, you're hoping if you do meet up in the districts, you can put together a complete game. You've shown that you can compete for stretches of time, long stretches of time, with a team of Manistee's caliber. But to put together that complete game, you want to be playing your best come district time.
Yeah, as Hawkeye would say, can't win if you don't score points.
He's the Phil Jackson. He is the Phil Jackson guru of high school basketball. I mean, there's no doubt about it. That's solid.
Well, when you talk about these two teams, as we mentioned, District 62, elsewhere in that region, that's Region 16 in Class B, you've got an undefeated Kalkaska. They're 12-0 in District 63. Houghton out of the UP is in District 64. They're 11-3, and then Big Rapids right now looks to be the favorite in District 61 at 9-4. And Manistee has already seen Big Rapids, I believe, and beaten them. And they've seen and beaten everybody in their district as well. So it's probably at this point on paper Manistee's district to lose.
Right, yeah, they played the third game of the year, 54-33. Handled Big Rapids nicely.
There's a nice steal by Emmington. Still not out of this. 2 minutes to go, the Vikings are. As the Chippewas trying to ice it, and Christensen with a nice move. And that time, Kevin, she didn't try to establish any further position. She caught, pivoted, and attacked the basket, and she draws the foul.
Yeah, and that's what we've seen from her all year long. And you completely credit Emma Burns tonight with, how she's defended Christensen. And I think it's made her try and shoot some shots that take some angles maybe she didn't necessarily have to do, and that's just a credit to the defender.
Christensen buries a couple of big freebies with no time coming off the clock. It's a 39-30 Chippewa lead as Coach Mary Kay Johns wants to get a timeout. Well, I mentioned Cadillac Casting. I forgot to mention as well Pizza Plus.
Pizza Plus.
Supplying the grub for our crew pregame. Of course, once again, not a single slice left for us, as is per usual.
If they start bringing some original subs instead of pizza, I'm gonna arm wrestle some of these young kids for them. I will bite a wrist for some of that sauce.
The gauntlet has been thrown.
So the only 2 losses, I'm looking at the nice win-loss you provided for me earlier for Manistee. They're playing the big dogs downstate and having a good showing against them. So you play that kind of competition, and then you come back up north to play the people you play all year long. I mean, it's obviously a big payoff.
Yeah, Coach Cott talked to us in the pregame about how it kind of forced them to do some things they're not used to doing. And if they are to make another deep run, they're going to see that kind of caliber of team. I think we mentioned earlier, Ypsilanti was ranked #1 in Class C for a time back when they got beat by them. And then Detroit Renaissance ranked 5th or 6th in Class A, or 4th or 5th in Class A. So a couple of very strong teams. As the crowd unhappy about something here in Cadillac.
Well, I can sort of empathize with that one. When you're going to get a clean steal and you get a forearm shiver that prevents you from doing so, it is a bit frustrating. But, hey, everybody misses a call here and there.
Johns will commit the foul to force Haipaka to the line, as the Vikings now in a situation where they need to send the chips to the charity stripe. Hope for some misses here. 39-30, a minute 39 to go in the ball game as Haipaka front irons it, and the Vikings get exactly what they wanted. Emmington out to Johns for 3, front iron. Good looking shot, just short. Little now going for the steal, and she will foul Emily Cott, who will go to the line.
It's one of the hardest things to do. Michaela Johns takes that 3, felt good, looked good, starts fading down the court a little bit. Mama Mary Kay says, hey, follow your shot. What's hard to do when you think it's going in?
I was just going to say, I think in all the time I've played basketball with you, I've seen you follow your shot like 4 times.
Only when
ever.
I know it's going to be 4 feet to the left and hit nothing but glass.
Because I'm convinced there are times when you know it's probably not going in, and yet you still think something could happen. It might go in.
Could
and
get a
you're
roll.
Still, yeah, exactly.
Get a roll.
Timeout on the floor. 9-point lead for the Chippewas. 10-point lead as Emily Cott drained that first one. Thank you.
Yeah, at this point in the game, I mean, it's all gambles, and that's a good shot Michaela took because you need to get up some 3 balls. And so if Cadillac gets a steal, they want to get out in transition. They want to get the ball to, Michaela. Kylie's hit one today. Hope's capable. It's got to fire up some threes. Hope you can knock a few down.
Well, if you're the Manistee Chippewas, you're grateful to get out of this gym with a win because you knew it wasn't going to be like it was the first time around, and you got to be pleased with the way your team has performed. Meanwhile, if you're the Vikings, you've only given up 40 points to a team that has routinely piled up 50-plus all season long, and even 60.
Yeah,
it's a good sign from a defensive standpoint.
And they've done a great job of not turning the ball over. We don't have an official count, but it's nowhere near 31 that it was in the first meeting. And so, hey, that's what you want. Progressing as the year goes on, playing your best in March.
Little down low to Christensen. Gets it up and off the glass. Emily Cott gets the ball in her hands. You know the senior wants that.
Nice.
She avoids the foul and then gives the ball up, which is mildly surprising.
Just an excellent ball handler. Excellent ball handler. You got bringing it up, getting pressed by 2 girls, bringing it up with your left hand, your offhand the whole way, between the leg, avoid the foul like you said, find an open teammate. Now you're at the line trying to ice the game.
Thompson will get 2 shots and drains the first. We're looking at Emily Cott and Natalie Cott standing together between the half-court line, between the circles. To the right of your picture there. Look like they could be twin sisters, for crying out loud, as Thompson misses the second. And And Emmington, unfortunately, dribbles that off the side of the foot.
That's got to be very cool, and some cool family dinners on a Friday night. Long ride home to Cadillac. Both your daughters played very well tonight. Coaches did a good job. That's pretty cool.
And there's the foul by Kleinsorge. Vikings playing with just 7 tonight. Brooke Cunningham never took the warm-up off on the bench. I do not think she was available, so the already short bench was even shorter tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, that's got to factor into it. You know, you play a team like Manistee who's high tempo, high pressure, got a ton of good athletes they're throwing at you. They're mixing up defenses. They're going man-to-man. They're going full court man-to-man. They're going 1-3-1. They're going 2-3, and they're trapping out of that 2-3, forcing the issue 4 or 5 feet above the three-point line. That wears on you as a team, and, you know, with 7 girls on the bench, it makes it that much more difficult.
Put yourself in that huddle. Coach Cott, they got a 10-point lead. What's he telling them to focus on here in the last minute of this game?
No stupid fouls. When the shot goes up, we want to box out. And when you get the rebound, you secure the ball because Cadillac is taking chances and they're going to be swinging at it because they don't care if they foul you right now. They need to put you on the line anyway. Also, awesome opportunity to have your players at the free throw line icing the game. These are the free throws you want to make. Even though you're up 10, pretend it's a tie game. Pretend it's a one-point game. That's only going to bode well for you when you get into the playoffs and you're making your run. Defense and free throws do what? Win championships.
38 ticks remaining in this one. Thompson drains the first.
She must have listened to me, really focused. I got to take full credit for that.
I saw her look up.
Nice.
You know, that's one of those 3 seniors on this squad I mentioned that I believe all 3 have been on the team as a freshman. Is Fine Christensen. Nice catch and shoot underneath. Tough pass. She reels it in. Kleinsorge, I think, has 4 fouls. Couldn't commit that one. Emmington chasing Cott. Finds Natalie Cott.
She just flat out got some handles, Emily Cott does.
Yep.
You know, she's able to behind the back, between the legs, and it's not flash, it's out of necessity. And then when she does that, great ability to find the open player.
Got it back from sister Natalie, and she'll go to the line now.
I'm impressed, Jay. I'm impressed. It's a quality ball club. It's good guards.
Emily Cott misses both. Kleinsorge. And that should be off the Chippewas. It'll remain Viking basketball, but just 6 seconds remaining in this one. Emmington will fire 3 at the buzzer. And that will do it. 44-34, the Manistee Chippewas come away with the win over the Cadillac Vikings here at Cadillac High School. Chippewas move to 11-2, and the Vikings fall to 6-8 overall, but much better showing by the Vikings. We'll take a moment to collect some final stats, and we will have some final thoughts for you from this one. It's a 10-point Chippewa lead here on My News 26 Sports. Back in a moment.